Welcome back to Podiatry Marketing. I'm your host, Jim McDannald, joined as always by my trusty co-host, Tyson Franklin. Tyson, how's it going, man?
I am fantastic today, Jim. I've had a magnificent morning. When you have one of those mornings where you just wake up, you feel great. And the whole day, everything just falls into place really well. And now I'm talking to you. So far, it's been a great day. And then when we finish here, I'm heading off to have my favorite hamburger in Cairns.
What's the name of the place?
Herbie's Cafe. It's an American style hamburger. So it's not the best looking burger. It's not the flashiest looking thing. But when you bite into it, it is just the tastiest hamburger I've found in Cairns. And I tell the guy that every time I'm in there, these are the best. I don't know what he does. I don't know if he puts like secret juice or something in there that is just flavor. It is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. How you been anyway?
Oh, things are good. No, things are good here. In a related topic, I grew up, my mother's dad was a beef rancher. So I had basically a locker, like a freezer full of hamburger growing up. So we had all different types of iteration of hamburgers at my place. And I still, if someone asks me what my favorite burger is, I have this nostalgia for the cows and for the beef that my grandfather raised. But there's some okay burger places in Montreal. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw them there real quick.
Yeah, just a while back, I was on a cruise. And when I was on the cruise, they had a burger place on the cruise. I actually shot a video on YouTube, and it was titled Protect Your Reputation. And it's lessons learned from a shit burger experience. And there's this celebrity chef in Australia who has a burger place on the boat. So I'm thinking, the burger's got to be good. He's got his name attached to it. It was hideous. It was a terrible burger. I even posted a photo online just saying how bad this burger was. And yes, it makes you realize, and that's not my marketing topic for today about protecting your reputation, but we have spoken about reputation management in the past. And I think if you're putting your name or your business name to something, you will really want to make sure that it's being represented the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you don't want to sully your name by just taking the money and running it away. So for sure.
Yeah. And that's the part that people don't realize too. When you're asking somebody for a referral, when they give you that referral, or when they say to a patient, hey, you should go and see Tyson, the podiatrist, or you should see Jim, they're actually putting their reputation on the line to actually hand out that referral. So you got to realize when your name is attached to that referral, you've got to live up to a certain reputation, because you can damage your reputation and also the person who referred them to you. And if you bugger that up, they may never refer anyone again. Maybe I should have made this my topic for today.
We'll talk about a little bit more down the line, but I'll make sure that I avoid burger places on cruise ships in Australia in the future. So no worries.
I'm hoping they read my reviews and they apologize to me and they say, would you like a free cruise? Okay. The burgers are tasting really good now.
Yeah. I wish you the best of that. I don't think that's probably going to happen, but I wish you the best. So what are we going to, we're not going to talk about burgers. We're not going to talk about cruises and reputations today. What are we going to jump into?
Today we're talking about, we have too many marketing options. And I know it seems like a lot of podiatrists think they have too few options, but it's actually the exact opposite to what they think. And there's this thing here, I've got it written down, called the Red Queen hypothesis. I don't know if you've heard of that before, Jim.
Mentioned it a few times. I think we've chatted about it either off the podcast, and I definitely have looked it up because I know that it's been a part of some of the marketing talks you've given in the past.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done an actual episode on that. And when I do marketing workshops, and we'll talk about it more, that part out, because we've already done the workshop.
So like in future workshops.
Yeah. So like I've spoken about it in workshops, talked about it in Chicago, and I'll always bring it up in future workshop. So the Red Queen hypothesis is, and I'll read this out so I don't bugger it up. It's an evolutionary hypothesis which proposes that organisms must constantly adapt, evolve, and proliferate in order to survive, while pitted against ever-evolving opposing organisms in a constantly changing environment, as well as to gain a reproductive advantage. So nature knows it must overproduce. It must really overproduce everything. You could be talking about berries on trees, nuts, little turtles, for example. And even when turtles are born, only 1 in 1,000 actually make it to adulthood. 999 turtles that do not make it. And the problem we have is we have too many ideas. And like nature, it overproduces because it knows that the whole pile is going to get killed off because so many organisms and creatures are fighting for that same space. So with our marketing ideas, it's the same thing. We have too many ideas and we need to work out and learn how to kill off ideas and how to kill them off quickly so we can work on the ones that are really going to succeed. And Thomas Edison has a fantastic quote, and it says, to have a great idea, you need to have a lot of them.
I like that quote. I'm a big fan of chasing bright, shiny objects, but I know it's not always the most productive or effective thing to do. But it is good to have a lot of ideas. It's just choosing those ones that you want to execute on.
I remember a quote somebody else said once, don't let a good idea get in the way of a great idea. And sometimes you can have all these really good ideas and you keep focusing on them, but you don't, okay, try it, kill it. Just make decisions really fast on, okay, I've done this, it's not really working. Tweak it, it's not working, kill it, move on to the next thing. And just keep testing different things because you keep the thing called the OODA loop where users keep getting information coming back to you all the time. And I forgot what I was going to say on that point, but that's all right. Oh yeah. So my wife will always say, I'd come to my wife and go, hey, Chris, I've got this really good idea. And she'd say, is it a good idea or is it a great idea? And I go, oh, it's not really a great idea. It's just a good idea. She goes, come back to me when you've got a great idea. And it really made me stop and think that all of a sudden you might see something, you go, oh, that might be a good marketing idea. Is it good or is it great? And if you know straight away it's not great, maybe wait and just put it aside and move on to something else.
Yeah, like you said, there's so many different things you can do, and you don't want to do something halfway or mediocre if it's not going to stand out or separate yourself or differentiate you and your practice from someone else. It might be worth just waiting around until you have something that is a clear differentiator that really makes sense. It is a great idea.
Yeah, like I know if somebody said to me, weigh up a couple of different sessions, talking in front of a group of 50 people in my local area about a specific podiatry problem or issue, I know the impact on that I'll receive from that is far better than advertising at the local golf club. I still might get some people from a local golf club, but when you're looking at those two ideas, talking in front of 50 people and creating a pathway that you can do that on a regular basis throughout the year is a far better idea than advertising on the scorecards at the local golf club. So a lot of times people will spend so much money on all these like maybe good and mediocre ideas. They spend money here, advertise there, $600 here, $1,000 there, all these little things. But if they sat down and went, okay, what's a really good marketing strategy? Public speaking, getting in front of people. Cost me next to nothing. You usually get a free lunch, which is great. And the impact you can have on 50 people at one time is incredible.
Yeah, you got to find those kind of multipliers, right? Those kind of areas of leverage when you can spend your time doing something and reaching 50 people on a real impactful basis, or something that could potentially be ignored. People are coming to your event and there's 50 people that are watching you. They're going to be much more engaged than just some other passive form of advertising. So I think that's a great example.
Yeah. So if we think of social media as an example, which is one part of the whole online marketing world, and it's pillar number 6 of my 6 pillars of marketing. And if you think of just social media, we've got YouTube, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, which is now X. What do you change? Do you know why he changed to X?
The theory is he's going to turn it into like more than just a messaging app. He's going to turn it into, he's had this idea for a long time to try to create like a payments app as well, like a Venmo, or I don't know what you use in Australia to basically
PayPal or something like that.
Yeah, PayPal. He was an initial founder of PayPal, but it's a little bit different where you just like, let's say we're at the bar and I would just send you,
such an underachiever.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But you should maybe you should do some research on that, and we do an episode on X. The episode can just be called X.
The more I'm on there, the more spam I get, the more like irrelevant kind of content I get on X. But yeah, it's interesting to see what he's going to do with it if he can actually pull it off. So
yeah. So if we go through the list, like basic list: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter or X, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, which we spoke about recently. And even if you think of TikTok, in 2008, TikTok was the number 1 Apple app. But just because it was a number 1 doesn't mean it's actually good for you. And what happens is a lot of I've seen podiatrists, they spend a lot of time shooting, editing different videos, and they'll have it on Facebook, and they have it on YouTube, and they have it on Twitter, and they have it on TikTok, and they're dancing and they're doing other weird things. And you sometimes wonder how much time are they actually spending on all those platforms, and are they better? Test them, evaluate them, kill a couple off, and really just focus on the ones where their patients are probably hanging out. And that's a question they need to ask the patients. They get a survey sheet and go, here's all the social media platforms that I'm thinking about using. Which ones do you use? Simple question. I think the feedback from that could be sometimes an eye-opener.
I totally agree. Like you said, you have to go where the money is, right? Go where your patients are. If you're taking care of mostly seniors and you're on TikTok, it's probably going to be a huge waste of time, money, and effort. But if there's a local like seniors newspaper, maybe they're reading that more often, or there's opportunities for speaking engagements at senior centers and things. So like you said, go where your patients are. Don't necessarily go with what's the bright, shiny object or the hot social media channel of the day. Just really step back and talking to your patients, right? When they sign up to come into your clinic and they're filling out a form, understanding which channels that they are most reachable on, right? Are they still watch TV? Is it radio? Is it some form of social media? Getting that information can be pretty valuable to make sure you're spending money and getting that kind of return on investment with whatever type of marketing or advertising you're doing.
Yeah, it's funny. My mum's 79 years of age. She's on YouTube all the time. She's constantly on her phone watching different things that interest her on YouTube. The other thing that she watches on YouTube all the time are my videos. And I said, Mum, how can you watch them? She said, oh, because I'm on YouTube anyway. And when I saw that you did something, I subscribed to it. So whenever your videos pop up, I watch them. And she goes, not just because you're my son, I actually find some of the stuff you say interesting. I didn't realize you knew so much. Bit of a positive slap in the face comment. And
a little slap on the back there. There you go.
Yeah. But it made me realize that, okay, if my mum who's 79 is on YouTube a lot, that means there's probably a lot of other people in that age group, if that's your demographics, that's also on YouTube. And if you let them know you're on YouTube, hey, we put some educational videos out there, and you keep reminding them that, yeah, you're there, more than likely they're going to subscribe and they might see more of your content coming through on a regular basis. But it really is, find where your patients are hanging out, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is. And then I also think it's really important to find your angle. Try not to be like everybody else. If you're just shooting the same videos that everybody else is shooting, which are most are boring, then you're not going to stand out. I think you need to find a little bit of uniqueness. I had a coaching client that I helped them. They were doing something on YouTube, and I said, what do you love doing outside of podiatry? And they went, drinking. I said, okay, what do you like to drink? And they said, whiskey. I said, fair enough. I said, how would you feel about doing whiskey reviews? I said, and that becomes your thing. I said, you're a podiatrist. You do these random whiskey reviews, but every now and then you might have your shirt on that has your podiatry business on there. I said, so you're promoting your podiatry business, but you're talking about something you enjoy. And I'll guarantee there'll be patients that will watch more of your whiskey videos than they'll ever watch of your podiatry videos. I've had others that have been into scuba diving, others that drink wine, some that play music and write funny songs. I said, that is going to stand out more with your patients than just shooting a boring podiatry video.
Yeah, there's a million videos about plantar fascia treatment and healing up. And I think it's okay to have some of that stuff on your website if you're showing people what you do. But, on these different social channels, if you're really trying, like you mentioned, trying to stand out and look different from other people, tapping into those interests or those differentiators, which makes you stand out. Maybe it's the form of training you have or the clientele you've worked with in the past. There are definitely ways to help attract more of the care you want to provide by really separating yourself and having those interesting facts, those differentiators, which are really going to help you stand out amongst the crowd.
Yeah, because I know some podiatrists that are on YouTube and they make really good money I've got some friends on YouTube that make really good money. They've given up their jobs because they make a full-time living on YouTube. And they have said to me, I've never worked so hard in my life. They said it's actually really hard work. To produce good content that engages people takes a lot of time. But they're targeting the world. But if you're targeting your patients and you want them coming back to your local area, you don't have to put in as much hard work. You just still need to produce quality content, but it's really more about you, who you are, getting them to know and trust you a little bit more. And if I had my podiatry clinic now, I'd be doing probably burger reviews on a fairly regular basis. I'd have another photo of the burger, I'd bite into it, I'd talk about it, what I liked about it. And I guarantee more patients have probably watched my burger review videos than me talking about heel pain.
You have to be surprised, right? I think people, when you're relatable and you're genuine about what you're showing on social media or on your website and things, I think it really can be a huge way to attract people to your practice and just be bought on and about who you are and what you can provide.
Yeah, and it's also starting to get known for something. So I talk in my marketing workshops as well about micro storytelling, and we've done an episode on that where you just give people little bits of information about yourself, but you control the narrative. You let them know what you want them to know. But there's other aspects of your business where you might be right into rehab work, or you might really love strength and conditioning, or you might really love nail surgery. Then that might be something that you focus on a little bit more than just the average podiatry stuff, and you shoot more videos in that particular area. So when people think of your clinic, or when professional referrers think about your clinic, they go, oh, you're the podiatrist that does a lot of nail surgery. You're the podiatrist that does a lot of rehab, exercise and rehab stuff. Or you're the podiatrist that loves hamburgers and drinking whiskey. That's not bad either.
Yeah, some of those topics you bring up are really can be visual, right? So it's not just
Yeah.
it can be engaging. It can be stuff that also can be a bridge between what someone can do at home for a period of time versus come into your clinic. Or even if they come into your clinic, maybe instead of like everyone's handed out a piece of paper for people to have the exercise. These are the exercises you need to do when you leave the clinic, but it's a static piece of paper. And while it's not the worst thing, if you had the video of those 5 or 6 exercises to really show them about how to execute them, sometimes that can be more engaging. It's a branded video. It really shows your expertise. I think there's a lot of ways you can use video to really help differentiate yourself and really show off your expertise and your a domain authority in a specific topic.
Yeah. How many times have you been handed a handout from another health professional, some form of vendor, whatever it is? Oh, here's a handout with more information. You go, oh yeah, okay, thanks. And they fold it up, and they might put it in their back pocket, or they put it in their bag. That thing ain't never coming out again. It might sit on the desk, something else will pile on top of it, and eventually it will end up in the bin.
It'll end
But
up in
if
the
they
bin.
left your, yeah,
It'll just be somewhere you don't know where it's at. Like I had surgery a year ago, and I recently was trying to find where did I put all that paperwork, just to look at the kind of recommendations they had made at that time. And it's somewhere in my house, right? Like it's maybe saying more about me than it is about the piece of paper, but
no, it's humans. It's just you. It's not you. It's not just the Jim effect. It's the human effect. It's just a piece of paper. I had a referral to get MRIs done on my ankles again because they're just a bit dodgy and they need to get tidied up. Do you think I could find it? I did eventually, but it was on top of the fridge. I should have looked there first. But if you said to a patient, you've given them the instructions, you go, hey, don't worry about having to remember this. I will send you an email this afternoon, or as soon as you leave here, my receptionist will send you an email, and I'll have a list of the exercises that I want you to do. In the email, there'll be links to each of those videos. It'll take you through to my YouTube channel. When you get on there, you'll see those exercises. By the way, also do whiskey reviews and eat burgers. It might seem, and I reckon patients, even though they look at the exercises, it's a great way of just letting them know other things that you do. Because even if they're talking to their friends, they might go, oh, I was at my podiatrist. I went through these exercises. Fantastic. Do you know the guy does some really cool whiskey reviews as well? Their friends have got more likely to come over there and look at your whiskey reviews. And then when they get to know you and they need a podiatrist, they'll then see you in your clinic.
Yeah, it's just showing that you're a human being, right? You're a person, and it just helps you connect with people in ways that an injection video or a plantar fasciitis video will not necessarily appeal to most folks.
I should have worn my shirt today. I got a Howler Head monkey whiskey shirt. So this is where marketing, I think, is just the craziest thing in general. Because some things you do it and it just works, and the other things take a little bit more time to build up. And that's why you have to try different things. You've got to test things. You've got to see what works and what doesn't work. And so Howler Head is a whiskey that advertised on the UFC all the time. We've never had it in Australia before. All of a sudden, it's just popped up at a local bottle shop, liquor store for you, Jim, a bottle shop. And I bought a bottle, really enjoyed it. So I thought, no, okay, I've had it now. I don't need to go back and have another bottle. But then a friend sent me a message and went, they're giving away free T-shirts with every bottle at the moment. He said, I walked past it. I wasn't going to get a bottle. And I saw the free T-shirt and I went, damn it, they got me. And he bought a bottle. He tells me, I jump on my car, I drive down, I want the free T-shirt because they're cool shirts. and I also like the whiskey, so I bought it as well. So sometimes it's like little incentives. And I know you might look at that and go, how do we do that in podiatry? I don't know. Think about it. Don't say the idea won't work. We just think about how can we use that idea in podiatry? And then you might try a couple of things that don't work, kill them, move, and then try something else. And like Thomas Edison, the way to have a good idea is you've got to have a lot of them. So you just keep trying different things.
That's good advice. I think like you said, you got to kill a lot of good ideas to get to the great ones. But most important, just get started. I think a lot of people will hesitate to even dip their toe in the water. But if you can start getting those good ideas and help snowball into great ideas, that's some great opportunities to grow your practice and really do more of the work you love.
We did that episode a while back on Ned whiskey, Ned Australian whiskey. Maybe I need to do another one on Howl Ahead. Should reach out to him. Would you like to sponsor the Podiatry Marketing Podcast?
Well, you never know.
I know. So I think I've worn out this topic. But the biggest takeaway I want people to remember is, like I said before, don't let a good idea get in the way of a great idea. And there's always going to be an abundance of ideas and opportunities presented to you every single day. You need to come up with a format or a way of looking at an idea and being able to make a decision quickly whether it's good or not. And if you're going to run with it, do it for a period of time. If it's not working, move on to something fast, kill it and move on to the next thing. And that's where having a business coach like myself helps. Working with yourself, Jim, on different marketing ideas helps. If you're just sitting there and you don't have a lot of experience in marketing and you're not sure what to do, you can sometimes get bamboozled by slick salespeople, and you've got to be aware of that. I might be there as another topic. Beware of shady salespeople.
For sure. They could be sneaky.
I know. Okay, Jim, I've got nothing else. This has been fun, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.
Sounds great, Tyson.
Okay, see you later.